won't be at my desk for very much longer. Also, hello. Thank you all for stopping by for PIZZATSUDAN. I've got topics to discuss and toppings to put on pizza, and a whole bunch of stuff to do today. Let's begin, shall we? Audio is a bit low. My speaking audio is a bit low. Let's see if I can fix that. I can probably fix that. What up? I'm here. I am Skeletom, your skeletal host, and today we're going to be engaging once more in the grand tradition known as PIZZATSUDAN. Let me put on my BGM, my quieter BGM. There we go. And yeah, so the plan for tonight is we're going to be baking a pizza, as is the way. I'll be going along the steps. You can find them at the bottom of the screen. And that's pretty much the game plan for this evening. If you don't want to cook along at home, then that's fine too. I appreciate you being along for the ride. Now, for my grand entrance, as I migrate over to the kitchen, where we should be all set, I think. Maybe I need to zoom the camera out a little bit if I can. I don't even know if I can, actually. This might be fine. Anyway, hello. Super low audio. Also, hi. Uh-oh. How can I fix that? A couple things. One. Oh, streaming's always a blow up, right? Let's see. Give me one moment, please. So you're saying my speaking volume is much too low. I should be able to boost that like such. Or wait, no. I know what I need to do. I know it must be done. There we go. Here. And I boost myself all the way up like that. I think that helps. And the other thing is that VTube Studio seems to have disconnected from... Actually, I can blame you personally for this one. Because my VTube Studio here has disconnected from my PC, I think. I think that's what happened. I'm not sure. It's just like not doing any tracking whatsoever. Alright. Hold on. Gotta show you how the sausage gets made for a quick second here. Camera. Choose camera. Camera off. There we go. I think that's what I needed to do. But now I need to recalibrate. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably is my fault. You're not wrong. Okay, there we go. I think that's better. Oh boy. Audio's better? I think. Much better? Cool. I just had to boost myself. It's all about boosting. I've mentioned this a couple times before. There we go, thank you. I've mentioned this a couple times before, but the way I have this set up is I'm routing myself through my own Discord so that I can walk around the house with my headset on and be all set that way. Now, are we still connected? Okay, cool. Face tracking is all set. Excellent. So hello. For PIZZATSUDAN, you're going to need a couple of ingredients. As seen on the bottom of the screen here, we're going to be making the dough. It'll take about 90 minutes to rise, and during that time, I will be playing a little video game, shooting the shit, talking the talk, and that's pretty much the way these things work. What's the first thing we want to do here? I guess, yeah, we're going to make the dough, and then I also have, if I could zoom out somehow, I don't know that I can. Sous Chef Bon, is there an easy way to, do I have to flip this lens if I wanted to zoom out? Yeah, or is it already at maximum zoomed outedness? Interesting, it feels like such a closer zoom than usual. Ain't no matter. Anyway, what I wanted to show though was that I've got salad greens, because I'm also going to be tossing a salad as part of today's dinner. I recommend you do the same at home, because salads are good, and I need to eat more greens. Okay. First step, as always, is I'm going to put on my beautiful rubber gloves because I do not want to get like flour or bones on my food or hands. So we finally put on some gloves, as is grand VTuber tradition. Then we can begin with the necessary ingredient prep. Alright, so I'm all set. I got rubber gloves, extra calcium though. Yeah. I mean, if you want to take that risk, go for it. Okay. Hello, hi Stardust Crusader 0. Welcome to the PIZZATSUDAN. Thank you for stopping by. First ingredient is 1 1/2 cups of warm water. This is pretty easy. I've already procured my water. I don't want it to be cold, so I always get it ahead of time. Let it acclimate to room temperature. If it's too cold, the yeast will not properly metabolize in it. So you have to have it be decently warm. I've also learned from previous times that wandering over to the sink is a recipe for disaster, so I've prepared it ahead of time. And for those who are stopping in, the recipe for making the dough is as follows on the bottom of the screen. You should be able to see it like right there. Next up is olive oil. 1 1/2, is that tablespoons? Yes, tablespoons. 1 1/2 tablespoons. Okay, Denshi, we're not doing this every time. Yes, you can use Mountain Dew. If you don't have water, it's okay to substitute it with something else. You can use your gamer fuel, you can use your Mountain Dew. Try a Monster Energy drink if you will. Maybe the salty gamer tears would also be a fine, if you can get a cup and a half of them, also be fine. That said, I know you've remarked about it before, and I thought you were just making like a nonsense joke the first time you brought this up. But if your water is actually very high in mineral content, wherever you are, that may actually be fine for the sake of making a pizza. There's a lot of theory that goes into why New York pizza specifically is so good, and the prevailing theory that I've always heard is just that it's very high in mineral content, the water there. It's hard water, as they say. None of this soft water nonsense. It's hard water. So you should just try using the water you have at home. It's probably fine. All right, what's next? We got 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Got my fun little baby like chew toy of measuring implements. 1 1/2 teaspoons. So we've got the salt. This one's not the sugar for sure. Boom. Boom. And we need a little bit more. You can probably go a little extra on the salt if you want. Again, this is baking, but it's Italian baking, so everything is just a approximation, if you will. Our water here is very chalky, so I usually filter it. Interesting. So it has like talc in it, or what's the mineral that's causing it to be chalky? That's interesting. All right, now for the fun part, we finally get to do the flour. Let me dry off my measuring cup so I don't get water in the flour. That would cause mold and other such things. We've got our cup. We've got our flour. Just reach in there. This is going to be 3 1/3 cups of flour, if you can swing it. 1. 2. Can I swing it? Do I have enough flour? 3. Oops, I spilled some. That's fine. It's just flour. And 1/3. Let's eyeball this. Metaphorically speaking, of course. That's like 1/2. That's like 1/3. All right. Move the flour. We now have the basis for a dough. Only 2 more things. We need a little bit of sugar and then the magic ingredient, the yeast. So sugar is the same ratio as the salt. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Boom. 1 1/2. And the stars of the show. No idea what it is, to be honest, but it does not taste good. Well, then I guess you can use your gamer fuel. You can use your Monster Energy. You can use your Mountain Dew. That's fine. Star of the show tonight is Fleischmann's Bread Machine Instant Yeast. Also ideal for all rapid rise recipes. Equals 16 envelopes. This stuff is the stuff of legends. It is very, very good. And we are going to want 1 1/2 teaspoons of it. If you use more, your bread will be very airy. If you use not enough, it will be very chewy. It will be less fluffy. We're going to do 1 1/2. So these are like some kind of fungal colony, as far as I understand it. They're a monocell bacteria. they eat sugar and they fart out CO2, and the CO2 is what makes the bread nice and fluffy. Put these all away. Nice, nice, nice. Move this over a little bit. I need to get my wooden spoon so I can stir this for a little bit. And hopefully this all comes together. We'll see if it's not enough water, too much water. The trick isn't so much the exact measurements, it's the proportion of them to each other. So this looks like already I think I'm going to need more water, which is fine, I have water on hand. And if you add too much water, conversely, you would add more flour. This seems to always happen where I think I add the right amount of water, and it's never enough, but I don't really want to over add water, because then it takes longer to rise. Okay, this definitely needs just a little bit more water. But we are prepared for such an eventuality. We can dip into our cup here. And drizzle that on. Let's see if that helps significantly. If not, we can always add more water. Ideally, you're going to have this come together in a single orb that you'll eventually be able to knead. And all of the flour that is sticking to the outside of the bowl should not stick anymore, for lack of a more elegant term. It should all clump together. It shouldn't just be straggling around. But like right here, you can see there's flour that's just loose and not bound to any kind of dough molecule or globule. So I think I just need to keep adding water. And I'm sure what will happen is it'll become too hydrated, and then I'll need to add more flour, and I'll end up with twice as much dough as I originally anticipated. That's my guess. But the good news is the light at the end of the tunnel is when you're done finally stirring all of this, there is fun to be had, because you get to get really violent with this dough in just a little bit. In fact, I might even get in there now to try and mash it all together. Only so much that can be done with a spoon. But now that the flour doesn't seem to be sticking too much anymore, you can get in there with your hands. Footage is a smidge blurry. Thank you. This should autofocus. I don't know if it does. Better? That looks better, I think. Okay, cool. Camera's on manual focus, so I gotta remind it to focus every time I move. So you can start clumping this together. Looks like there are still pieces that aren't congealing. Does that really mean I need more water? Golly. I don't want it to be too damp, but there we go. So Denchi, have you decided what your water substitute is going to be? Because you've threatened Mountain Dew before. And I hope it's not Mountain Dew again. Cool. Could be mineral water. Could do, if you have mineral water, that'd be great. Now, hypocrite that I am, I'm reapplying flour to the outside of this, because parts of it are too damp, and other parts of it are not damp enough. There we go. But I just ate. Isn't it also like midnight in the magical dreamland that you reside in? Feels like that's an inopportune time to eat, but I guess you are fully nocturnal at this point. I learned the word for what rabbits are is crespicular, I think, which means that they're most active at dawn and dusk, and they sleep during the day and during the night, which seems like the way to be. I'm assuming that's how you operate. It's a fun word that I've never heard in reference to anything other than rabbits, but... So what I'm doing right now emulates the way a bread machine would need this thing if I had a giant hook. But I don't, so I have to do it by hand. I'm going to be at this for quite a while. Trying to think what else is cool to talk about that I can talk about easily without using my hands. As an Italian, I want to speak with my hands very badly, and it's difficult when they're both occupied otherwise by doing something like this. Once your dough is in a single ball like this and it stops being little strips, you're going to do exactly what I'm doing right now, where you pick it up and you just smash it into the ground. Let's see, who's there? Ubras, hello. Hello, everyone. Why am I emphasizing the I in Italian? I don't know. I think it's funny. That's pretty much the only reason. It's funny. It's a good way to get under my own skin, metaphorically speaking. So I've adopted it so I can own it as my own. So you add a little bit more flour, dry out the outside of this so it doesn't stick to the hands too much. Thank you for stopping by, Fuba. I'm hoping everything is going well in your part of the world. I haven't seen you in a while, I feel like, so I'm happy that you've returned home, so to speak. I'm doing well. I think Bon is doing well. I'm making her dinner right now, so she can't be too upset. I'm doing the hard work today, and just today. Yeah, so it's sticking a little bit to the bottom of the bowl, which I don't really want, but that's fine. We can always add more flour to get it to be less sticky on the outside, and eventually we'll just dry out naturally, which is fine. It's what we want. Both of you are doing good, yeah. That's essentially the way it is. Bon, is that the Tsukimi panic emote that I see? Not wearing my glasses IRL while I do this, but I'm trying my best to have eyeballs on the chat. It's a good emote. Speaking of emotes, actually, I'm thinking that, and now you didn't hear this from me. Wait, hold on. I got an important comment from Fubo that says, I'm sleeping early, that's why I can't catch as many streams as I wanted. That's fair. I stream really late on the weekends because I typically have stuff to do during the day, whether I like it or not. And just, I think nights are a better time slot. But what I was going to say, speaking of emotes, is, and you didn't hear this from me, I'm thinking come middle of February, 2 weeks time, I'm going to finally open my affiliate because I want to have emotes and I want to have channel point redeems. And I've got one lined up, but if anybody has any good ideas for other emotes, feel free to suggest them and I will consider them and see if I can reach out to people and hire some folks to draw emotes if necessary. I don't know how many slots you get as like basic affiliate. I hope it's more than one. I think it's 3, but I'm actually not sure. It might just be 1. Bond, I think, has done this most recently. Skelepog. You already have emotes, says Danchi, using the platform basic emotes. He's not wrong. You get 5? Wow, that's a lot. That's actually more than I know what to do with. This is so loud. This is so... Next thing I need to do next time I up the production value on PIZZATSUDAN again is get a boom microphone so you guys can hear how loud this is. Oof, I'm gonna keep at this until it's nice. Basically, the way you know you're done hammering away at this thing is when you feel like it has a nice even consistency. It doesn't feel very lumpy. It's gonna be like a little bit lumpy because it's a dough, but you don't want large chunks of like flour and parts that are just air or pockets or folds. You would like there to ideally be no gas pockets inside this thing if you can help it. Hard to do by hand. If you have a, say, bread machine, it would be much easier, and I would ordinarily recommend that, but that's not as exciting as watching somebody engage in ritual combat with pizza dough, I feel like. So I do this by hand for the content, for the vine. What pizza are we making today? That's a great point, and I should have mentioned it in the tweet. I'm actually going to make a margherita pizza today. I've got Galbani, fresh mozzarella, ready to go, and I've got fresh basil leaves ready to go. And I'm not going to bother to refocus the camera on these because they're only going to be bit players. So I'm going to cut up the mozzarella into nice thick slices, or wide slices, I guess. It's going to be fresh. It's going to be a pizza margherita. That's the plan. Noted on Skelohoozy. What emo? Okay, that's the. I see. Interesting. Have I seen Lazarlight's new costumes? Yes. Bon had that up on the television yesterday, and I got to see them. I don't really follow Niji Sanji too much, so I didn't quite get all the memes, but I think they're good costumes. I liked Finana's original song at the end. That was very cool. I'm happy for her. Everybody who gets an original song, I'm very happy for. Yeah. Costumes are one of the great joys of VTubing, I feel like. Let's see, I think I need to refocus. There we go. This is actually starting to come together nice and round. I'm going to keep at this. All right. That's probably good enough, I think. Now that we've got that all squared away, I'm gonna just add a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of the bowl so that it doesn't stick too much. You want to have like a well-oiled bowl, basically, when you leave your dough to rise. Leave it in a nice little ball, like so. Cool. All right. So here is ordinarily where I'd dip back and go back to my workstation and boot up the video game. But there's one other portion of today's PIZZATSUDAN where I'm going to be making, as I mentioned at the very, very top, we're going to be preparing a salad, which is not very difficult. I've got my greens and a couple other things that I need to bring front row and center. First, though, I'm going to wash my hands a smidge so that I can not get oil all over things that don't want oil on them. Yes, that means washing the gloves. Gotta rinse them off nice and good. The leaves, the leafy greens have been pre-washed, so there's not a whole lot to do here. Yeah, salad. Bond's trying to get me to eat better, i.e. greener. Okay, so we've got our cutting board now. Let's move this over here. Bring this to the center. Don't need that, don't need that. Grab a paper towel quickly to clean off our cutting board. Don't need the bowl of water anymore. We have our leafy greens. I don't know why I put them on the cutting board. Bond, you don't need me to cut those up, right? You just want me to dice up some tomatoes, and we've got celery. Okay. Okay. Bond wants me to slice up the cabbage, slice up the celery. We've got cucumbers. We've got, is this basil? What is this? No. Oh, yes. There's basil. Okay, you can smell that. It smells really good. Here, I'll stick it in the camera so you can smell it. It's fresh basil. Similar to what I will be putting on the pizza this very night. We have a bunch of stuff to cut. That's nice and easy to do. I guess I will start with the cabbage. Oh, and I think one other thing we're going to add to this salad, there we go, diced up cabbage into nice strips, is we've got our tomatoes. I've got many tomatoes, and I'm going to add some of the fresh mozzarella as well, because you can never have mozzarella in too many things. Boom, ba-doom, ba-doom. I think this is the remainder of the cabbage from when we made okonomiyaki earlier this week, which if you're not familiar with, that might be a fun cooking stream in the far off future, is okonomiyaki. It's like the as you like it Japanese cabbage pancake, where you essentially make batter with eggs and flour, you strip cabbage into these fine little ribbons, you egg wash it or batter wash it, and then you can make a pancake out of it. And typically you put like vegetable sauce or barbecue sauce or things like that on top of it. Yeah, I'm making a salad because I need to eat better. I can't just eat pizza for every meal, as much as I might try. So I'm making a salad. I'm going to toss it, chop off the ends of the cucumber. These typically get fed to our tortoise, so I put them back on the plate because they are a meal for somebody else. They're going to be a meal for my tortoise tomorrow. When she wakes up at the crack of dawn, she'll be delighted to find cucumbers. She wakes up usually before I wake up, sometimes not though, so it's good to have food ready for her as soon as she pops up in the morning. Boom, boom. This is where you guys get to criticize my technique, because while I think I am probably the preeminent master here of making pizza dough, I'm sure everybody else is much more apt with a knife than I am. I'm very scared of blades, which is odd because skeletons are very resistant to piercing and slashing damage. We're typically only weak to blunt trauma, but I'm very afraid of knives. Or blades in general. Like X-Acto knives for hobby work, I am just terrified of. I try and avoid using them if at all possible, and it often shows on my work. I am bad at removing nubs on Gunpla. I'm just very afraid that I will cut myself somehow. This is a lot of cucumber. Oh, do you want me to put this all in the salad? I guess so, yeah? Might as well, she says. Alright. So we've got that. Cucumbers have been diced. So now the cool trick is that I made the dough already. So it's getting time to rise now while I dawdle with this salad. Everybody wins. The dough gets more time to rise, makes for a better pizza. Because that's the other thing, is I advertise this as a 90-minute dough, basically. It takes about an hour and a half to really reach adequate aeration, I guess, of the yeast. But you can let it go for way longer than that. If you let it go overnight, it's even better. I just don't really want to do that. And I could do the cooking show trope where I make something and then I pull out the fully completed version from under the table. It's like, and here's where you'll be in 24 hours. But I did kind of want the gimmick of this program to be the ability to follow along at home, if you so chose. Let's save the basil for last. Celery. I'm not a huge celery enjoyer. I think it's kind of just fiber with no substance or flavor or nutritional value. But I will happily add it if this is what Bon wants. Bon, do you want me to prepare this in any particular way or just slice as I'm doing? Thinly? Oh, that would have been good to know about 2 minutes ago. No, I can go back. I'll dice it or something, if that's what you'd prefer. Bon is over there moderating the chat from across the room under the kotatsu. So I get to shout at her. Ask for instructions when I inevitably fuck up. Alright. See, can I thinly slice any of these, or are these lost causes? They might be lost. And you want whole tomatoes, or do you want me to slice them? I'll try my best. Alright. Good enough, I think. Good enough for government work, as they say. This is very, very green, this salad so far. We're gonna add some color in a little bit. Bon was asking if we should buy a salad spinner today, and I think that's ridiculous given how infrequently we consume salad. But she's the boss, not me. Oh, okay. Bon says I need a bigger bowl. And she's not wrong, but I don't think we have one. Oh, we do have one. Okay, I'm a fool. Sous Chef Bon making a guest appearance, maybe on camera. I don't know. Alright, we've transferred this to a bigger bowl. We've upgraded our salad potential. Salad spinner helps you want to make more salad. That's, I guess, a good point. It's like me having the pizza stone that I use for baking pizza encourages me to make pizza more often, because I have this expensive novelty thing where I feel like I need to use it all the time. Do you want to get some vinegar? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to actually start going for it. All right. When's the correct way to open? They pop out of the top, right? Peel here to let... Okay. Okay, gang. It says peel here to let us out. I have a pizza stone and a pizza sword. That's true. I haven't shown the sword yet today, but it's here. I do have this. It's great. I will be using this to engage in ritual combat with the pizza dough when I need to slice it in half, because the dough we're making can make 2 moderately sized pies. Anyway, what I wanted to show was just the terrible pun on Nature's Sweet Cherubs here, which says, peel here to let us out. Is that coming through? I need this pun to come through. No, come on. It's focusing on everything but... Too close? Fair enough. Oh, golly. Well, it's right here, where it says it. Oh well. There's no lettuce in here, though. So they're just lying to me. And I can't stand liars. Wait, who's this? Okay, there's a person on the underside of the label here. This is LeeTB, Multi-Skills Pre-Harvest Associate. Check out more of Lydia's story at naturesuite.com/talent. This is not a sponsored stream, I swear. I thought I won like the lottery or something when you open like, say like open a Pepsi or a Coca-Cola can, or bottle rather, and there's something on the underside of the cap. It's like that. All right. Tomatoes. I don't know how many tomatoes is too many tomatoes. I'm a big tomato enjoyer. I will eat these raw, as I will actually do right now. I think tomatoes are great, but not everybody shares my opinion. Hidden secret person. Bon wanted me to slice these in half. Tomatoes really are nature's candy. Them and olives. Though olives you need to have in moderation. I could eat tomatoes for quite a while. Boom. So after the tomatoes, we have 2 more ingredients for the salad. Is the fresh mozzarella that I will also later be using for the pizzas, and the fresh basil, which will also again be on the pizza. So we're getting a lot of mileage out of our ingredients today. Very few calories? Yeah. Tomatoes are great. I wish I could share them with my tortoise, but they're not safe for her to eat. Too high in sugar, plus they're a nightshade variant, so they're not really good for animals. Humans love them. We look poisonous food in the face, and we laugh at it, is kind of our goal. We do this with like pufferfish, various forms of mushrooms. We do this with nightshades. We do this with alcohol, chocolate, what have you. Poison. Humankind doesn't care. We will simply eat it anyway. Alright. There's a high ratio of tomatoes on the top, but we'll spin that up in a little bit. And now I need the final 2 ingredients. First one is the fresh mozzarella. Let me focus back on the cutting board here. Oh, I anticipated this being way easier to open. There we go. The fresh mozzarella is very wet. That's what keeps it fresh. If you have fresh mozzarella at home, you can prepare it by, say, dabbing it with a paper towel, keep it a little bit drier. Choice is really up to you. You don't really need to. Oh, and you want this like cubed, I'm thinking, for the salad, right? I'm gonna just slice it into little chunks. I gotta make sure I leave enough for the pizza though. So we will be sparing with our fresh mozzarella today. Oh, it's good though. Don't worry, this is really good. I could eat this like I can eat the tomatoes all day, but that's for later. Right? The cheese is so soft. Like, I don't know how to adequately convey this, but it's so squishy. Probably doesn't come up great against my already white hands, but it's very squishy. That's not even that sharp. Oh, does anybody have recommendations for whetstones, by the way? Because we need to sharpen some of our knives, and I don't know how to do that outside of the context of, like, Monster Hunter. I've only ever seen it done in those games. Do I need, like, a giant, like, grinding wheel that I pump with my foot, like a blacksmith? Or what's the correct way to do this? Boom. Boom. I just want to keep chopping this cheese, but I gotta leave some of it. Oh, well, there we go. Oh, it's really good to eat. Really good stuff. Okay. Let me put this away. Put this aside for now. I can clean my blade, my samurai sword here, and resheath it dramatically. bring this into the front and center. Let me pick a vinaigrette. You want any kind of dressing, Bon, or what are you thinking? Ah, well, sous chef Bon always delivers. We have this as our vinaigrette today. Okay, so people responding to the whetstone comment. I've never had expensive knives, so I just buy new ones when they're not sharp anymore. What do you do with the old ones? Do you just throw them at someone? Into a wall, like a really cool, edgy, brooding dartboard? What's the correct way to handle that? And then Gate says, this isn't helpful at all, but the restaurant I worked at, there was just a modestly sized sharpener that would periodically run the blades through. Alright, cool. Here we have mango vinaigrette. This is, I guess, what Bon wants to toss into the salad. So we shall do that. Oh, I forgot the chopped basil. Basil. Hold on, I can do that really quickly. I'm a whiz with this thing. Mango vinaigrette. Yeah, so there's a place near us where you can get this stuff on tap. They just have... If you've ever been to, like, a Panera Bread, they have these vats of various juices or juice mixes, or if you've seen like a water cooler, like a giant glass instrument that's full of a liquid that you could has a little spout at the bottom and you can pour yourself a cup. Place near us has that setup, but for vinaigrettes, where they're just these large glass bowls, or I guess carafes. I'm not sure what the term is. We can self pour your own vinaigrette from a variety of flavors, and mango is one of them, and oils, yes. So that's why this one has like a label, but no brand, because it's just the house mango balsamic vinaigrette. It's not like Newman's Own. It's not Ranch or Hidden Valley. It's just the house mystery mango vinaigrette. All right, gotta not use too much of it. Do that. Yeah, they also have oils. I think we got chili oil last time we were there, which is great. Use my 2 instruments here to lightly toss. I'm no good at this though because I don't eat salads very often. No. Bon is criticizing my technique. She's not wrong. I did just say I'm no good at it. Let me refocus. This is a fancy hotel in Pittsburgh. It has these big, thick, all-glass water coolers, so you can get a cup. They also have like a cucumber. Yeah. So like imagine that, except it's full of vinegar. I don't want to like toss it over the side. What? Okay, Bon is going to show us how it's done, gang. This is now Bon's PIZZATSUDAN. Welcome, sous chef Bon. My concern is if I do that, they will fall out of the bowl. She's just telling me to be careful. Oh, I thought that was sliced in half. Do you want me to cut it? Bon is informing me that I need to lift the heavy ingredients to the top. I understand this fundamentally, but I was worried it would spill over and cause a huge disaster. And then you'd berate me for other reasons. Those sandwich spoons. Pepper? Like, what kind of pepper? Oh, like black pepper? Okay. Bon wants me to add black pepper to this, so I'm gonna do it. Cool. Now that's a cooking stream. Add black pepper to almost everything these days. Yeah, it's the spice trademark. It's the go-to spice for sure. This smells really good. I wish smell came through on stream for today specifically, because it's a good smell. Piece of cheese fell out. I guess I'll have to eat that one. All right. I think this is tossed sufficiently for now. So I will put this to the side over yon, and I will return my workstation to its primeval form, where I have my pizza peel. Once again, I get to like samurai clean my knife. Dramatically sheath it. There we go. Move the cheese somewhere safe. Move this guy back into front center of the viewing space. I think I have to do that. Bon, what am I forgetting about this camera that's preventing me from zooming right now? Yeah, I thought I just did it. Okay. Zoom all the way in there, get some good dough foot. Oh, that's too zoomed. I'm watching with a slight delay, so. Too much zoom. I didn't realize quite how dramatic that would be. And then autofocus. That good dough footage. I think that's fine. It's a little wobbly, I'm not sure why, but we'll survive. Denshy, you're looking at uncooked dough, and you're like, God, it looks so good. I worry about your eating situation and your health overall. If looking at beige-colored blob, and you're like, oh, I want to put it in my mouth. That's all I ever want to eat. Anyway. You could snack on that a bit. You're not wrong. You can make the excess into breadsticks, into calzones, whatever you want. I would consume the dough. Well, it's probably safe to do so, because there aren't any eggs or anything in it. This is different than, I guess, some types of bread, or like cookie dough, for example. There's no eggs in pizza dough, as we've empirically proven tonight. It's just flour and yeast and water. So you probably could eat it. I don't think it would taste very good, but you can try it. You won't get poison. You won't get like salmonella, is my point. I personally wouldn't try that if I were you, but that's me and not you guys. All right, so I'm gonna jump back now to the workstation. Because we spent time making the salad, usually I let this rise and I set the timer at the bottom of the screen for 90 minutes. I'm gonna do, I think, 60 tonight, because I think the salad probably took me about 15-20 minutes, and I'm in the interest of feeding Bon in a reasonable amount of time. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'll meet you guys back on the other side. How do I know without trying? That's a good point, Denji. How do I know without trying? All right, see you guys in a moment. I return. I'm back at my desk now, finally, at long last. Let me get the game set up and switch away from this wonderful dough cam. As pretty as it is, it's not the main attraction for the next 60 or some odd minutes. Denji, if you want to try your dough that you've made without water and instead use some other fucked up ingredient, by all means, please try it. I would love to see like what that tastes like. What does your Mountain Dew gamer dough taste like? Okay, so we're going to turn on our dough cam here. There it is at the bottom of the screen. And I'm going to simultaneously turn on my PlayStation, which I've recently got a fancy tower for, so it's not sitting on my floor anymore. My cable management situation has become markedly better. Where's the reset button on this thing? There we go. So there's that. Now I turn off. Hear that good PS2 noise. It's probably going to be way too loud. What am I looking for here? video capture groups. Turn off the external and turn on HDMI PlayStation 2. It wasn't unholy loud. I'm getting better at this. I'm getting better. And I would have to turn off my own music. There we go. Because it's gonna be loud. There we go. Oh, and I've got to start the timer. Crucially, got to start the timer for 65 minutes, I'm gonna say. This is my best guess. Oh yeah, I didn't set it yet. It's something I set manually, based on however I'm feeling at the time. Alright, so the cool thing about this game is there's no title music, but there's a lot of loud music in the game. There we go, full screen projector. And so joining this game again, returning to it for the 4th time, I think, brings up one of the talking points I wanted to talk about, discuss with the gang who showed up today. You get to have exclusive voting rights, because I think I want to change up the format a little bit for how this stream works. That feels really loud. Okay, I'm turning you down. Game too loud. Anyway, I'm currently engaging with this stream in a way where I try and do a game every... like a single playthrough. Hold on, this game is too loud. I can't even think straight. Open volume mixer. There we go. I can live with that now. Okay. Now, let me try and not ramble again. So, the way that I started doing this was I picked a game, Here, Everywhere, Road Trip. License is required. And I decided this would be the way that I play through games that I haven't played before, is I would do them weekly or bi-weekly, and I'd also get better at making pizza while doing it. But I think that, in practice, has ended up getting a little bit stale. And so I'm thinking I might either axe the game component entirely and try and focus entirely on like a talk show type format, or I might pick like Kusoge, really shitty PS2 games that I don't really want to finish. I just have as miscellany. Like I've got Bad Boys, the Will Smith movie for the PS2. And I'm thinking it might be better to just do one-offs for the 60 minutes that we have and then get back to the baking, because it's going to be excruciatingly long to try and finish a game like this if I only do it every 2 weeks in 60-minute increments. And frankly, I don't think that's amazing content. This one has been fun to explore so far, but I think I've reached about the point where we've seen most of what there is to see. The kind of central mechanic of the game has been laid bare. You do races, you find weird little mini games to do, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Fuba. I'm thinking it might be different one-off games every stream. Yes, we did get to see my city. I'll take you there. Okay, I'm glad you're on the same page with that. On that note, I'm thinking this is probably going to be the last stream I do for Everywhere Road Trip, because I don't really think it's going to be more engaging than what it already is. Yeah, that's a really good point. Also, Icey, is arcade gaming and pizzas go together. Like, C, for example, Charles Entertainment Cheese's fine establishment. Or, David and Buster. This is a good point. And then if I really like one of the one-off games I play, I can start doing it as a full series. Who is this? Ricky Hirsch. Welcome, welcome, Ricky Hirsch. I'm going to give you the shout-out. Perfect timing. S-O. Ricky Hirsch. Did I spell that right? Yes. No, it was Richie. No, hold on. C-K-I-H-I-I-R-S-C-H. There we go. There we go. This doesn't tell the whole story, though. Ricky Hirsch, it says, was just chatting, but in fact, she was giving an excellent lecture on psychology, specifically the nature of personality, I think. Wow, I got a ton of money for that one. So, she's very cool, and you should give her a follow. We just started playing the game. I set the timer for the pizza for 65 minutes because I also tossed a salad tonight. That race went great. So, it's not going to be a 90-minute amount of play today. It's going to be a little bit less. And that's what got me thinking that I might want to change up the format. I know for certain, though, the next time I do one of these, the next PIZZATSUDAN, not next week, but the week following, is going to be the day before my birthday. And so I'm going to change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to either make a dessert pizza or I'm going to learn to bake a cake as the cooking component. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to work. And I think I will do some very self-indulgent one-off game as my gameplay of choice. But we'll see. Okay. So I think we've been to every town. There's supposed to be 9 of them, plus my garage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm missing 1. Yes, my birthday's coming up very soon. My birthday is actually Monday the 14th, but that's Bond's day to stream, so I will be doing a stream, I think, on her channel for that day. My birthday stream is going to be the Sunday the 13th, the day before. And that's going to be, I think, the day I enable affiliate and a whole bunch of other stuff, so please look forward to it. The way that I progress in this game is I need to get all of my C licenses, and then I can get my B license. But I thought I have my C licenses. I've gotten to 6th place in at least every race, I thought. Yeah, does the star mean I'm good? I don't know, I guess I'm just gonna do them all again. Didn't expect you to be an Aquarius. What does that mean? I don't know anything about astrology. What does not being an Aquarius have to do with anything? Or what does that entail? Or, in this case, I am an Aquarius. What do I do that gives off non-Aquarian vibes? It is Aquarius season. Bond keeps saying this, and I keep thinking of the song The Age of Aquarius. Oh, too fast. Let's go. My car handles so good now. So well. Oh shit. I say as I careen into a wall, entering like last place. I just have to get better than 6th, and then I'll be all set. So I'm going to redo the races because they're brief, and I have the ability to warp to all of them. It's the only way to guarantee that I've gotten in over 6th place for all of them, is to just do them again. No time to lose, fellas. Come on. These laps are also quite long. I see that Fuba has left a comment. I will respond to it as soon as I'm not driving. Don't text and drive. Oh, my handling is so much better. I used to not be able to make that turn ever, and now I can with ease. I'd careen into the, like, sidewalk. Oh. It's bad. Oh, the Zen Garden, not sidewalk. Awesome. Great physics. We love that. We love that for them. Slamming into my own teammate. It's all about the glory. I can't let my own team beat me. It's gotta be all me. It's me or nothing. Yeah, that's correct. I just gotta let go of the gas. But so much of this game is just holding down the gas. Now that I can turn or corner so well, there's no incentive to, like, not just hold down the gas. I got these amazing tires. Like, right there is the only time I'd want to let go of the gas. I can make this turn. Mostly. Well, that's usually what happens. How did I do it so well the other time? Oh god. Not like this! Okay. I can also, I guess, climb. And I think I'm quite far ahead. Oh, actually, no, I'm not quite far ahead of everybody. Never mind. Alright, gonna not fly up the stairs. Let go of the gas. Nope. Alright, still go flying, even as I reduce speed. But I don't go flying as much. So that's good.
This is very tense. Did I slow down? I guess I must have. It's the only way to make this turn. No! Not like this. Okay, cool, third. So that's 2 races we've gotten at least 6th place in, so that's good. Okay, so let's see the comments. Probably being the same time as me, not necessarily something in particular. Optimal place, so like go with the gas, yeah. Slowed down last time. This poor guy, he's stuck. This AI will never finish the race. He doesn't know how to do it. Oh, God, he's on my team, you're right. I'm kind of invested in seeing this guy finish the race now. Okay, he's going the wrong way now. Goodbye. Oh, he's... This is sad. The AI is completely lost. Where is he going? He's going the wrong way, right? Tilted. He's inting. He's throwing the match. That's me driving. It's stuck. It's like this poor little animal. He's just trapped. Car stuck. Oh no. It really has no idea how to get out of its current situation. Okay, I think he's just gonna keep doing circles like this. It seems like it's a pattern he keeps repeating. He's gonna go hit the other wall. He's just gonna ram into it. No, no, I can move on at any time. I won my race. I came in third. He's gonna hit the wall. I can move on. That's me. Third place. Okay. Newman came in 24th. Did not finish the race. Good for him. We're so proud of you, Newman. How was the race? Okay. Alright, next one. 24th place, Newman. Thank you. He did not finish the race. Alright. So now we go to next town. Be sure that I completed at least 6th there. Peach City. Fuji City. Sand Polis. We'll go here. So there's supposed to be 6... The reason I'm doing this is there's 6 rank C races, and allegedly when you do all of them you get your B license, then you gotta do all your B races, get your A license, and then you can race against the president to become the president, which is the thrust of this game. The central thrust is that you are gonna enter the Grand Prix to become the president of Carlandia, of everywhere, I guess, in Everywhere's Road Trip. I don't think we'll get that far, though. I think next time I play a game like this, it's gonna be a different game. Because I expect the B races will be about as engaging as this. And while the game certainly has its quirks, I think it's best left as like a one-off. We've seen, I think, the entire world. There's not a whole lot left for me to share with this game. If you like it, I wholly recommend trying it out on your own, if you are able to. Yeah, whatever configuration I have right now seems very well suited for these races. On-road, off-road, doesn't seem to matter. Yeah, I can warp to every town I've been to, which is very helpful because otherwise driving back and forth would be not fun because a lot of the world is rather empty. As impressive as it is that it's very big. Desert Raceway. But of course you have to go find the town first. I believe there's one more town that I haven't seen yet, but I remember reading on the roadtripguide.info, the great website that has the guide on this game, that it's like the end game town. Okay, I'm about to lap somebody. Oh wait, that's the whole race. Never mind. That's the other thing, is you go on the road trip, do you even want to become president? I guess in this case, the guy explicitly does want to become president. Yeah. It's roadtripguide.info is the fan site for this game, which was updated this year, in fact. And I have so much his now as well. How was the race? Great. Drive around town. So that's 3 races I've definitely come in at least 6th in. So now I've got 3 more, I think. Warp again. Chestnut Canyon, I think, has 2 level C races. I think. There's like a water slide one and a river one. Yeah, wait, no. Mine are 49er this way. Maybe it's the Mushroom Town that has 2. So this will be our 4th C rank race. Do I have any PS2 recommendations, just in general? Hard to say without knowing what you've already played. One of my favorites on the platform is a game called Magic Pen Gel, and its sequel, Graffiti Kingdom. If you can get your hands on either of those, I would wholeheartedly recommend them. The first one is a, like, Pokemon-style game, where you battle monsters in a turn-based format, and the gimmick is that you draw the monsters yourself with ink that you accumulate, and it renders them and animates them in a 3D world, which is very, very cool. And then the sequel, Graffiti Kingdom, has the same monster drawing mechanic, except instead of it being a turn-based game, you can become the monster. Like, your character just transforms into the monsters that you draw, and they get various powers based on how you equip them. You give them big, powerful arms or wings or what have you. But it's like a character mascot platformer kind of thing. Character action game, not a turn-based RPG. So, your mileage may vary. That's a really good one. I loved Everblue, but you've seen all of Everblue now, so I don't know if you're interested in playing it. I think very, very fondly of Everblue these days. I'm super impressed by how that game won me over. What else? What else has been good on this platform? There's some really interesting niche Gundam games. I've tried to stream a couple in the past, and they're a bit too high concept or low action for the stream. There's like the Zeonic Front, which is another tactics squad game. Very interesting, maybe overly ambitious for the PS2. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the reason Magic Pen Gel's art style reminds you of Ghibli is because they were on tap to do the promotional art and I think the opening cinematic for the game. They're credited in the manual for sure and on the back of the box. So you're spot on. They are in fact Ghibli characters. Graffiti Kingdom did not have Ghibli involvement, but Magic Pen Gel did. So you're dead on the money, I would say. They're in the manual. What else is good on PS2 that's weird and only I could recommend? There's Lifeline on the PS2, which is a voice-controlled game that I will stream someday. I just don't know when. It's a game that does not require you to press buttons on the DualShock, but instead requires you to have a USB microphone, and you voice control or command the character, who is a waitress named Rio. You tell her what you think needs to happen, and she will sometimes do it. And it's a survival horror game kind of like Resident Evil, where you have to fight monsters on a stranded space station, like hotel space thing that's like stopped operating, which is very fun. That's what we all say. What, that I will stream it someday? I've beaten Lifeline once. I know I can do it. I know I have it in me, ISV. I know I'm brave enough to play the game. I think fondly of it, now that I know all about it. And now that I know... So, the thing I didn't know, though, the first time I played the game, is that if you do the Tongue Twister minigame with Rio, and you do it 3 times in a row, you will be able to heal her. I just assumed that the only way to heal was healing capsules, and as such, I got soft-locked on the final boss in that game, which does damage that you can't dodge to you as part of like a dramatic sequence. And so I kept dying over and over again. There we go. Yeah, I think they probably maintained the art style from Graffiti Kingdom to Pengel, but it's more of an inspiration rather than direct involvement. They learned what they saw, or they copied the style from Pengel and brought it forward, but they didn't have a direct involvement. Got a B license. Okay, this is the one I didn't come in 6th in, I guess. Alright, we can move on with our lives, gang. You got a new license, you moved up in level. What do you want to do? Race, of course. Lava Run Raceway. Let's go, let's go. ISB, are you referring to this as the regular game or Lifeline as a regular game? Oh, hell yeah, gang. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, I think this game has a lot of content in it, and I think it's good in that regard. But in terms of engaging or interesting gameplay, or things to talk about for 90 minutes, I'm not sure that it's well suited to that. But mostly I just feel that trying to do a long play over the course of 90-minute spans every other week is a fool's errand. Like, imagine if instead of playing Everblue for 3 or 4 hours at a time every Saturday or what have you, I only played it for 65 minutes every 2 weeks. I would never beat that game, and I would just be tired of it, I think. And it would drag on for months and months and months. So I think this format lends itself better... Oh, golly. Okay, there's a grid. I thought he was just careening into the lava. I think this format lends itself better to shitty PS2 games that you want to sample in a 60-minute bite size and probably never come back to. Alright, we're in like reactive factory now. Speaking of Kusoge, one game... Oh, actually, this might be the game I should do for my birthday, because I think about it very fondly as well. I want to play Sonic R very badly on stream, because that game takes about 30 minutes to 100%, like top to bottom, get every character, all the Chaos Emeralds, and the final stage. It's very short, but I like it a lot, and it's got good music. Bon is recommending a game that's a typing game. And speaking of typing games, ISV, while you're here, when do you want to play Lupin the Typing? Because I'm super game, and my schedule is way more available now. That I've finished some technical projects and have gotten other things squared away now because the year has ended. I think the last time you brought this up, I was working on the Kason fan game every day, all day, and that's long since over because we delivered that in November. So I want to play Typing in the Typing of the Dead spin-off with you, and I want to talk about Lupin because we've been watching Lupin 2 together, which is very nice. Anytime, awesome, awesome. We can just keep pushing that, kicking that can down the road. One day, one of us will be able to commit to something. I'll reach out to you after dinner, I think. Let's pick a time. Sonic R is great. I have it on GameCube, and I actually have it on PC as well, but it does not run or install anymore, so I'd be streaming it off of the GameCube. Off of the Wii, actually. But it's on a GameCube disc. It's on the Sonic Gems collection. I'm very good at racing over the lava, it would seem. I say I'm done with technical projects, though. Hey, Sass. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. I should ask you for what I should do for emotes, frankly. I'm gonna enroll in affiliate soon, and I gotta figure out what emotes I want to put down. And you've got one of the strongest emote games in the business, frankly. So, I should reach out to you and figure out where you get your inspiration from. What was I saying? I was talking about wanting to do collabs, and then my technical projects have cleared up, but that's never really true for very long. Alright, cool. I almost lapped that guy, I think. Easy first place in this B race. Cool. Can I get all of my B races done before pizza's ready? Yeah, Newman once again in dead last. It's okay, I don't need a team. How was the race? It was great for me personally. Are there any more races here? No. Okay. Save game. Yeah, my teammates are not pulling their weight, but it's okay. I'm gonna drive around town. Where in the world is that lava racetrack, I wonder? Just stuff I've played mainly for the emotes. That makes sense. Alright. Warp. I guess we start from the top again? Peach City, do the B race here? I'm assuming there is a B race. The other car PG besides Racing Lagoon, yes! Somebody else I know was just talking about Racing Lagoon earlier today as a meme. That game looks cool as well, but I would not do 2 car PGs back to back. Alright, Peach Raceway, rank 2. And then, Iceby, I'm interested to know what your technical project is. For me, I just had to do a thing where a chat bot that I maintain for Discord that interfaces with a niche streaming platform stopped sending JSON over the WebSocket and started sending binary, and I had to figure out what the encoding method was for the binary, and I did it in 4 days thanks to the help of Bond. We used every tool in our toolbox, but we were able to crack that shit. It was an absolute nightmare. There were a lot of red herrings was the problem. They have like a lot of stuff going on, and most of it doesn't seem to actually matter for the sake of what we're trying to do, which is just listen to public chat. But their code was all very obfuscated. Wild stuff overall, but it's solved now for now. It works. Oh, I'm like in very far behind, huh? Wow, Peach Racetrack B level doesn't fuck around, I guess. So if that technical project is done, I'm trying to, or done for now I should say, I'm trying to upgrade my heart rate plugin, because there's some features I wanted to add, but that's mostly done. Alright, there's no way I get in 6th place in this race. I don't even know how I would. Do I need even better handling? Or higher top speed, I guess? It must be higher top speed. Do it for Tom and Tom's Oshi. Is that what you're saying about yourself when you helped me, Don? ISB, I'll read your large comment in a bit when I'm not driving. Sorry. I'm actually... Okay, now I'm not driving. The PS1 Gundam fighting game has 4 dummied out characters that are otherwise fully implemented, 4 broken boss characters that are taking up slots in the character select that are right for... Oh my god. ISB, that would be very, very cool. If you can do what you're describing. I'm keenly interested in seeing that happen. Okay. Well, nothing good happened here. Nothing... Interesting, if you don't come in the top 6, you can't say it went great. I will say it went terribly. Maybe you need better parts. Drive around town. Do you have ideas for what 4 characters you're gonna overrate? Or maybe 8 characters overall? For the Gundam fighting game? That sounds very cool. Warp. Sass, these are good emotes. You've got the 2 dirty pairs and then yourself. I guess that's all 3 members of the dirty pair. The secret 3rd member of the dirty pair. What can I do here for a race? Temple Raceway. Also, Bon, the way you phrased that, do it for Tom and Tom's Oshi, I can only read in the Saturdays are made for dads and dad's car. Oh, okay, overriding the 4 bosses with the 4 regular ones. Gotcha, gotcha. I thought you were going to add custom characters, like sprites and all. There they go, into heaven! Let's go! Those cars really blew. Okay, I probably was supposed to go through the gateway. Okay, I'm in last place, gang. Okay, these beer races don't fuck around. I guess I have to spend some of my money. I have quite a bit of it now, though. Oh, this is just the town, actually, though. Just being used as a racetrack. This is part of the overworld. That's good asset reuse, I suppose. Alright, there's no hope for me here. My own teammates are doing better than me this time for sure. I'll spend some money on some new parts and see where we can go. It's like night and day, though, I gotta say, between how easy the A-level races were and the B-level races. I gotta get the opponents here checked for, like, performance-enhancing gas. Oh, wait, hold on. I just saw somebody flying in a different way that I guess is a shortcut? Can't mod anything, so I gives things new sound. Once again, ISB, I will read your comments when I'm done driving. Well, 20th, I guess. Wait, I'm only on the second map? Golly. I did dominate the lava one. I think it's because the lava one was off-road, and I'm decent at off-road, whereas this is partially on-road, and partially off-road. So I struggle against straightaways on pavement, is what I'm thinking. But then again, this whole section is dirt. But then here we get pavement, and I probably lose ground here? I don't know. Oh, okay, I see. There's a bridge. Wait, why did I turn the wrong way? Why did I do that? Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, you can. You definitely can. I'm gonna buy some parts and I'll try this one again. And here I need to decelerate. I'll never remember to do it. Okay. Nothing good happened here. Okay, ISV says, fix the minor graphical issues related to the swap, but making it work at all is the main goal. Can't mod anything, besides give things new sounds. Okay. Drive around town. Oh wait, no, actually I want to go to one of the later places in the game, because I think that's where the good parts will be. But I guess we can check for now. Driving into the front door at 70 miles an hour. What do we got? Engine. I don't know. Okay, I guess I'm using Blue Max right now. I need a better one. Okay, those are all just decals, cosmetics. So let's go to one of the later game places. Also, I didn't forget, I will show you my city at some point. I don't think there's a part shop in my city, though. Let's go to White Mountain. Okay, there's only a B rank race in Snowy Mountain. Oh, wait, no, hold on. Change parts. What do I currently have? Tire, super water durable. I have a Blue Max engine, and I probably need a better one. Probably need a better chassis and a better transmission. I need better everything. Drive around town. We're on a snow-capped mountain right here at night. Perfect place to drive your Trans Am or whatever. He says he has many good parts. I don't know if I believe him. Okay, so this is 330 power, which I guess is good. Who that is? Hey! Hello. What is... Prome? What is Prome? I don't know. I'll give you a shout out, though. SO. What is it? It's never bothered me right. This car. Igon. Hello. What have you been up to? Dark Souls. Okay, I see. Oh, hey, I recognize you. That's cool. You guys came just in time. This is my bi-weekly PIZZATSUDAN stream, where... Hold on. YouTube Studio, hello? Tracking. I am in the VTube Studio Discord, that's true. Speaking of VTube Studio, though... Hello? It's like... One second. My tracking has ceased? I don't know why. Give me 1 second. You there. tracking isn't even real. Well, thank you for the follow. Give me 1 second. Hold on, I gotta diagnose this. Yeah, I disconnected from... There we go. Okay. I don't know why that happened. We're all set. Okay. Yes, I'm in the VTube Studio Discord. I work on VTube Studio plugins. Let me explain what I'm doing here. This is my PIZZATSUDAN stream. Thank you. I appreciate that you guys like the setup. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Huba, I'll get to you in one moment. So, PIZZATSUDAN. It's a combination pizza making and Zatsudan stream. You guys are coming right down the midway point. I made the dough and I made a salad earlier today, about 40 minutes ago. And you can see it's rising in the bottom of my screen right now. I've got a little timer. And come 30 minutes from now, I will be making pizza with this dough. And that's the whole premise. I share the recipe. People can make dinner along at home. And while we wait for the dough to rise, I play shitty video games because I know nothing else in life. So, thank you. Pizza Pog, yes. Did I know that Lupin has a PS2 game? He has many PS2 games, but the one you're thinking of, Treasure of the Sorcerer King, yes. I do know it, I have it, I might play it someday. That's an example of a game that I would want to do a whole playthrough of because I'm fervently loyal to the Lupin franchise, but it would not be good for a PIZZATSUDAN game. I try and do the cook-along every other week. I have not been very good at it, maintaining that schedule, but I can guarantee the next one will be not this coming weekend, but the weekend after, because that will be the day before my birthday, and I very much want to do a birthday cooking stream. I will be making a cake, or a dessert pizza. I'm not sure. No, I don't want a new body. I thought this was the garage. Yeah, that'll be in 2 weeks. The 14th is my birthday. So, look forward to it. Mark your calendars. Anticipate the delivery. That's the plan there. Who are you? Nick says, hi. So what do you think about White Mountain? Pretty nice, eh? This is the bright white land. Isn't it beautiful? When I went into the cave at the snow-capped mountain, guess what happened? There was an ocean at the end. I jumped into the water and there was a temple-like building underwater. Interesting. Dude, nice. Tom is like me, but smart, makes food, does cool code, and is dead. Did I do that? The temple thing? No. I should do that. That's fun. I want to change my transmission, and then I can go adventure. The Cryptid Coven. Hello, welcome. Welcome aboard. Buonasera. Bonasera is the phrase. Bonasera. Where's the garage? That's the part shop behind me. Double raid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate everybody stopping by. This is PIZZATSUDAN, the combination pizza making and Zatsudan stream. There's the part shop. Forget this. I'm gonna warp to the garage. It's faster this way. Thank you for the shout out, Bon. Far Cry, interesting. I'm no good at shooter-type games, but I think they're neat. Thank you for stopping by. We are halfway through the dough rising, as you can see at the bottom of my screen here. That's what the timer is. I'm gonna make an actual pizza or two with that in 26 minutes or so, give or take. Change parts. So I've got a new engine, Mad V2. Power is considerably higher than what I had. I need a better transmission next, I think. But we'll see. And also, cheese biscuits. I didn't give you the proper warm skeletal welcome. Thank you for your follow. Welcome to the skeleton crew. There's an old saying that says, if it doesn't read rest in peace on your tombstone, you get drafted into the skeleton war. But you're special. You voluntarily signed up for the skeleton war, and in doing so, you've definitely saved some poor soul from being drafted. So thank you for signing up. Thank you for enlisting. I do PIZZATSUDANs and other type game things on Sundays. I typically do programming on Saturdays. I work on, like somebody else earlier mentioned, a VTube Studio plugin is my current technical project, but I always find something interesting to do. Greetings from Bolivia. Hello, hello. Bonasera. I don't know what the current time in Bolivia is, but I'm assuming it's... I think it's an hour ahead of me. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to drive off the mountain. No. We're good. Skeleton War. I mean, the Skeleton War hasn't happened yet, but if there ever is, you know, you're on reserve. That's what you get for following. These physics, yeah. This game is rough. This is Everywhere Road Trip. It's a CarPG for the PS2. Oh! There I go. It's fine. It's fine. I'll try that again. I want to see what the thing at the top of the mountain is. The water temple. 23rd. I see. Okay. So then, You're not too much further ahead than I am. I am, what time is it? It's... I'm trying to do that. I think it's 1900, 1930 here. So you're an hour ahead of me. That's cool. Yeah, this game doesn't like when I go off ramps at all. I'm gonna take it slow to get to the top of this mountain. Hey, there's a house here. Wow. Wow. What's in the house? The ski jumping registration. Accelerate and jump. The distance from the jump ramp to where you land will be your score. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is a car PG. So there are no people in this game. As you can see, the guy who lives here is a car. This is a car that I am speaking to. I will absolutely go. Yeah, you talk to people by ramming into them at top speed also. Let's go. I think I just got to floor it, right? Does that even count? Okay, 115 meters. Not bad. I could definitely do better, but we'll take it. Congratulations. Would you like to try again? I'm not going. And I think that should give me a stamp, right? For participating in the ski jump? No? I think it's like cars in that you can't have the doors open. I probably need to go a minimum distance, yeah? I would agree. So the guy mentioned there's like a cave up here, I thought. But I don't see it. I really wanted to see this water temple. I don't know where that would be, though. Navigation is, or exploring is kind of punishing in this game, because you are, again, a car, so your mechanisms for navigating are limited, inherently. There I go. I'm fine. I don't know, Skidge, did I give you the warm skeleton welcome? I feel like I didn't. I'm sorry. It's the same as I said before, where you have voluntarily signed up for the Skeleton War, and I'm really, really grateful for that. What's up? Seuss says, I can't find it in that store. I have to go over there to buy it. Have you ever felt that way? I want to build a store filled with different goods. Is there any place where I can build such a big store? Tell him, or don't tell him. You are also a skeleton. Wowee. Wait, did I tell him? What did I select? I must have selected tell him. I've got to collect goods from all over the world. I'm so busy. That's cool. I love that there are so many skeletons in this space. Oh no, Nick. Okay, says, isn't it beautiful? When I went into the cave at the snow-capped mountain, guess what happened? There was an ocean at the end. I jumped into the water, and there was a temple-like building underwater. Okay, I went to the top of the mountain, though. It's true, I am in the skeleton Discord. I don't participate very much, though, because I'm, one, shy, and I also just already feel like I have my hands very full without a tremendous social network. I'm mostly just shy, though. I want to keep to myself. But I am in there. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right? Like, the navigation in this game is super treacherous, because it's not like Breath of the Wild, where I can just scale the mountain with my hands. I'm a car. Who that is? Melody, thank you for joining the skeleton crew. Once again, another fine recruit who has voluntarily signed up, and will save the poor damned souls from their fate. Yeah, so far the collabs I've done have been with people that I'm like super familiar with from before VTubing even, like Bon, and I was brave enough to ask Izu for a collab, and then recently I had a collab with Mari where she talked to us because we made a fan game for her, so that was fun. But otherwise, I'm just like sticking in my lane mostly. Oh, and how can I forget? I did a collab with Taishi. That was fun. Good night, Fuba. La 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 la. Hi, how are you? It's Shirley. Why am I in such a good mood? It's because I had a dream about my favorite actor, Uzumasa. I want his autograph. I want it so bad. I know I can get it, too. Okay. That's cool. You do you. That's cool. Where the fuck is this cave, gang? I have a pleasant voice. I don't know about that, but I appreciate it. I mean, I feel like I have a very, it's very hit or miss. Technically, that's true. I do have it listed. Oh wait, there's the cave. the sign pointing to the cave. Yeah, good luck with that, Sass. If you ever want to collab, let me know. I am open, you know how to reach me. I have a dad voice, it's true. That's my goal. That's what I want to sound like. The Nemesis Dice stream was a collab. I have it listed under my collabs for my YouTube playlist, because I upload all of my VODs to YouTube. We can do skeleton games. I feel like that's pandering, but maybe. Hey, I'm going really fast, I feel like. Also, this is bringing visceral memories of The Well from Everblue, the last game that I played, where you just go down a hole until you hit the ocean. I'm curious what you consider a skeleton game, though, Sass, so, like, by all means, I'm interested, but I don't want to pander. We can play non-skeleton games, it's okay. I'm perfectly capable of playing non-skeletal games. Backspace broken. Ah, I need a Sega Saturn, then. Where the fuck am I? Oh, yeah, Spookware looks really good. I remember that one. That looks really fresh. And then, I keep saying Backspace Broken, which is like a dungeon crawler type of game. Alright. We've got our photo booths. The photo booths is the end of the world here. I want a Saturn. Saturn is notoriously hard to emulate, from what I understand. So I think getting a real one would probably be the right way to do it. I've got more than all the equipment I need. Why I'm like, oh, that explains a lot. Okay, so it's time to drive into the ocean. I feel like I've done this before. Oh. Oh. Okay. It's Sidon. Prince Sidon is here. You managed to get here. This is the temple under the sea. Sure is, bud. All games come back to Everblue, Agonion. It's the only game I'm ever allowed to play, is Everblue. This place used to be above the sea. How long have I been here? Well, I'll let you guess. Oh, you don't understand? You're not equipped well to drive underwater. I had fun talking to you, so I'll give you this. Get propeller. And give you this. Wing set. Let's put these on now. They look something like this. With these two parts, you'll be able to move around underwater like a fish. The wing set allows you to easily change direction of the air. Oh, I can fly! Furthermore, press the L1 button to get more flying distance, and press L2 to reduce it. Wow. This game rules. I take it back. I should play this game forever. Okay, so I 2 streams ago, I drove all the way underwater to Papaya Island by myself. Okay, so what does it want me to do? It doesn't feel like it's working. L1? Yeah, it really is like that, huh? I should turn this into a regular, like, non-attached to the pizza making aspect. What the fuck is that? Is that like a giant gem? Hold on. I don't understand. I don't understand how I meant to do this. But I can definitely move fast now. Wait, there's another guy under here. You there. No! Wait, we're good, we're good. We're good. I want to see the big gem. Oh. Okay. I just have it now. I just picked that up. Emerald. Sure is. I'm getting the Chaos Emeralds. Yeah. I should do a full long play of this game and not tie it to the PIZZATSUDAN format. This is a PS2 game. This is called Everywhere Road Trip for the PS2. It is Chorokyu Adventure in Japan. It is a CarPG for the PlayStation 2. It is an open world fucking video game. In this, this wing set doesn't feel like it's doing anything. I'm hitting L1 and L2, or L2. It just doesn't feel like it's doing much. But I'm happy to swim here. Yeah, it's an open world fucking video game. Everyone's a car. Orpheus! I'm Orpheus! Dr. Orpheus! I love to drive around the temple under the sea. I've enjoyed driving underwater ever since I got this wing set from that guy in the temple over there. See ya! Met the black bus Orpheus. Cool. Okay, so now that I can fly, let's warp again. Drive around town. I gotta make sure to save also. Medieval is a good skeleton game. That's also on the Saturn though, right? Or is that Dreamcast? I don't remember. I am of feeble mind. Really? It's, oh yeah, of course, because he's in PlayStation All-Stars. I'm thinking of Mr. Bones, which Gate already mentioned. Right, Medieval's a PS1 game because he's in the PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. Sir Daniel, of course. The original skeleton. Remastered it. Oh, Pog. That's a certified Pog moment. I'll have to check it out. And that's I am familiar with Sir Daniel. Okay. Ski launch. Let's try this again now that I can fly. I'll go. Let's do it. Said hold L1 to go, but I didn't go any further that time. I'm confused. I went a little bit further, I guess. I will do that, Gate. That's a good idea. Okay, so I need a piece that's like, quick guide says I need a piece that's like the propellers for above. Most I select the guide website. Yeah. I'll link it in chat actually. Everybody should look at this website. It rules unequivocally. It is a very charming little fan site for this weird little fucking video game. It's where I'm getting all of the info whenever I get stuck. Okay. It's time to go to my city. It's my city now. And then I'm gonna go to Papaya Island. And then I'll probably be done. Because it'll be time to make finish the pizza, finish the fight. What do I want to do? Endurance run? What is this? Love that someone made a dedicated website for it, right? Look at me with my fucking propellers. Oh, okay, bye everyone. Bye. There they go. How are they so fast? What do they have? What do they have that I don't have? Maybe they just have really good acceleration, because I'm catching up now. AI assistance. As we saw earlier in the stream, the AI is not particularly good at getting itself where it needs to go. But you're not wrong. Well, there goes me. Didn't properly drift. So what's the objective of endurance run? How many laps can I do? Is it gonna kick me out because I'm in dead last? Why is there a pit? Why am I pitting? What does this do? What does pitting do? You can't take damage in this game. I don't think you have gas. What does pitting do? What is the mechanic? I don't know. Alright, well, this is hopeless. I'm gonna retire. That would make sense if they go artificially fast. Just to, make you feel like you've got a goal to meet. That would make sense. So, Gate, this is my city. Quite a lot to fill in still, as you can see. But we're starting to get there. There are buildings. This was completely empty the first time I was here. Welcome to the Rally Center. Here you can register for the Q's Rally. Yes. Drive to the Q's factory in each checkpoint city. Rally will start here. Interesting. This is like an overworld race, I guess? Okay, yes, this is actually a race in the overworld. That's fun. Yes, they talk by blinking. It's like semaphore. Okay, so I'm not ready to do this overworld race. That's exciting. It's like a cross-country, the rally, where they're saying that you can check in at any of the checkpoint cities, and you have to go from shop to shop. That's cool. And yeah, the guy that we spoke to before did open a shop here. Right here. That's, I don't know what rally race means. That makes sense, though. It's the parts shop. Remember, I'm Seuss from White Mountain. Thanks for coming. We have the largest selection. Oh, they got everything here. What is wide? Wow, they make crazier engines. 12,000 PIZ. That's insane. Magnum. Power 420 RS Magnum. Let's go. Speed max. 20,000. Okay. There's like a late game here, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna try and get enough money for this speed thing in the next 10 minutes. My Magnum engine for my monster car, yeah. That's the one. Peach Town. It's time to totally job it up. What do you want to do? Race. Easy, rank C. Get like 1,000 coins a pop. Oofa doofa. Can I get that speed engine and try it out once before I have to go finish the fight and make the rest of the pizza? We will see. It's truly a race against the clock, in a very literal sense. Alright. How fast can I lap the guy in 24th? Also, I like that I still have these propellers, even while overland. I should equip my IRL car with propellers, frankly. 28-second lap. Preheat temperature is 535, Bone. You want to preheat it now? That's fine. That makes sense. You're smart. 535 Fahrenheit, like the highest setting it will go. Because we're going to scorch this fucker like a brick oven. For anybody who's making pizza along at home, though I don't know that any of you, other than maybe Denchi, were. I don't think Denchi actually was. Now would be a good time to preheat the oven to whatever the highest setting it lets you go to is. Mine is 535. At home, at my parents' house, when I learned how to do this, we go past 550. Denchi is still here. Holy shit. Denchi, go to sleep, man. Take it easy. Alright, I'm lapping these poor fools. Styling on them. go. But yeah, so preheat your oven if you've got it. 535 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Alright, that's 1,000. Let's keep doing that. I need to do that one more time, then I can afford the good engine. That's true, finding other teammates would help me get more money. I also gotta cash in the advertisement that I'm doing. As you guys have seen, I have this little billboard on my head, on my car's head, and that gives me 20 Piz per mile that I drive with it on. I just have to go collect my paycheck, and I don't remember where that is, so, you know, kind of rough. This seems relatively efficient, though. I get like about 1,000 per race. I can easily come in first, so it's very reliable. As far as other teammates, though, yeah, I mean, that's fair, because I started at, like, lunchtime for you. Yeah, it's West Coast. That's the other really hard thing, I think, about this format of stream, is I don't know how to advertise it in a way where it's at a good time for a lot of people, or for the most people, while also still being good for me and Bond, because I have to make Bond's dinner. This is our dinner. And I don't know how early in advance I should be advertising it on Twitter, because I don't know how early people need to get ingredients for. Like, I have this shit just lying around all the time. It's just flour and water. So I feel like I don't need to give any warning, but for other people, I feel like I should give more notice, because they have time to go procure flour if they don't already have some. I never know how to do that. Except if I advertise it too early, people will forget about it by the time it actually happens. Or I risk prattling on about it over and over again on Twitter, which I already kind of do. So, who knows? Oh wait, did the timer stop? Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh no. I have been looking at a timer that said 11 minutes for about 7 minutes. Okay. It's not a hard stop. I want to try out this new transmission very badly. I want to win one B race. That isn't Lava Reef. Okay. Great. Yeah. Oh wait, it was still going on the stream? On my OBS, it, like, timed out. I'm looking at my stream through OBS. I just refreshed it now. Drive around town. Well, it's saved. Yeah, it was frozen for a bit. That's what I thought. Unlike this pizza, which is going to be very fresh and never frozen. Okay. So now, quickly, let's go. Warp. My city. Drive around town. Let's go. Immediately, U-turn back out of here. Part shop. Yes. Transmission. Speed. Yes. Now I can warp somewhere to equip this. Warp. What do I want to do? Change parts. For me. Change the transmission to my supercharged one. Now we can race. Desert Raceway. Night Glow Raceway. Let's check this out. Let's see what this looks like. This will be a good one to end on. Yeah. It was great. This game is fun. Like, I really do like this game. My talking up of wanting to not continue to play it in this format is because I just think it's kind of... There's so much here. There's all these new characters to discover, new mini-games to do, weird shit that they just put in here for no reason. So I feel like it deserves more time, where I can play it for like 3 hours at a time. Alright, I'll have to stop that timer when I'm not driving. So this is like the Casinopolis level. This is cool. Oh, that'll get annoying really quick. So I feel like I'm competitive here. The pack is very close. Timer ASMR stream. I'm so sorry, guys. I should have just turned it off before I started the race. I knew I wouldn't be able to finish the race before. Wait, hold on. Is this new transmission, like, exactly what I needed? Oh, I crashed into a wall. I thought that was a ramp. I guess it does. You're right, it does. I was just in the zone. Auto zone. Now I'm in a castle. This is still the first lap. This new transmission seems to be doing quite well for me. That's fine. Gate gets to backseat me. He's the only one. We've been Battle Brothers for longer than your average VTuber fan has been alive, so he can backseat me a little bit as a treat. Gang, I'm really far ahead right now. If you look at the minimap, I'm the little red dot. And everybody else is the green dots. This transmission might fuck, actually. This might be the secret sauce. My natural instinct to tell Tom how to play video games. Exactly. We've been playing Dota together for, I think, at least 12 years at this point. So he gets to backseat me. It's fine. I trust him and his judgment. And truth be told, anybody else can backseat me. I've got it in the chat in the rules, or in the bottom of the Twitch like bio page. Anybody can backseat me. I don't really care. If you try and be condescending to me and tell me I don't know how to play the video game, I will just talk down to you. I will treat you as you treat me. You get to, if you babify me, I will babify you. But nobody's done that so far, so hopefully it doesn't come up very much. I'm very, very far ahead. Streamer, I don't know how to play this video game. The thing is, also in this case, you're right. Both of you are right, so I can't really contend that. I issue the challenge for both of you. Bon, I know you stream, and Denshi, I know you have an avatar, so you could stream. I would issue the challenge that either of you do a better job driving in this video game. I would love to see it. I would genuinely love to see the Everywhere Road Trip community take off and have a second renaissance here in 2022. That would just be excellent. Alright, well I crushed this racetrack. I'm so far ahead. This transmission goes so hard in the paint. Easy. My teammates not looking so hot here in dead last. I think they're stuck. I think they're stuck again. Alright, my teammates are dead, gang. This is so sad. Sketch, this is what you were talking about with AI assistants earlier. These are the two guys that are on my race team. I think they're like making out or something, I don't know. They're having a tender moment. Alright. Goodbye. Why are they like this? I don't know. But they have a spot on the winning team. Something like that. First prize, 1,500. That's very good. See, the thing is, I want to keep racing, but my dough is probably ready. I'm gonna do one more race. I'm gonna do one more. Sorry. Sorry, Bon. I'll get to food soon. I just want to prove to myself that I can do it, and that it wasn't just the track. No, I gotta feed you. It's 8 o'clock. I gotta feed you. Like, as I keep saying, finding an optimal time for PIZZATSUDAN is so difficult, because it's our dinner, too. So, I can't just make it super late in the night. I used to start these things at 7:30, which was way too late. I wouldn't eat until 10. Just a miserable time. So I started earlier this time. And I might slide it up again even earlier next time. I don't know. Okay, this new transmission goes really hard. It goes really, really hard, actually. maybe I need a bit better tires for handling. But all I have to do is come in at least 6th, and I think I can definitely do that. Because as I pass these guys, I will go into 5th. Oh, never mind. Easy come, easy go. Never mind. I spoke too soon. Well, I'm definitely in a more competitive position than I was without the transmission. Ooh, that was a bad drift. I think I just need tires now that are better for off-roading. And then I would be all set for this. But that'll be for next time, and I don't know when next time for this game is going to be. I'm probably going to do this as a full series, now that we've unlocked more of the world. And I will pick more one-off games for future PizZatsudans. Eighth. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Could have done better. My teammates once again in dead last. It's okay. I don't upgrade them, so it's my own fault, really. I'm holding them back. Race was okay. Save the game in slot 1. Quick game. Alright, that's going to do it for Everywhere Road Trip. I will meet you guys back in the kitchen in like 2 minutes. Give me 1 second, please.
Alright, I should be back in terms of audio. Okay, cool. Let me know if I'm too loud. I don't know if I'm assuming I'm fine, but I don't know that for sure. Gotta just put my gloves back on, my kitchen gloves, and then I'll meet you in the kitchen. Don't want to get tomato sauce all over my bones. And take this guy. Oh, I can smell the oven preheating. Bond's giving me a thumbs up. She's not wrong. Alright. Hello. Let me zoom this back out and autofocus. This dough has risen considerably. And if I let it keep going overnight, it would go even further. But I'm not going to do that because I would like to eat today. Commander Bon, I need help again. Sous Chef Bon. Ooh, and the oven just preheated. Awesome. Can you log back into your laptop so I can have my stream feed? Thank you. Okay, so now that our dough is all set and my oven just preheated, I'm going to clean off my peel here. Thank you. It's gotta reconnect to chat. I will be right with everyone in a moment. So we've got our dough, and it's a little dry because I didn't seal it this time, but it should be fine overall. We're gonna aggressively flour up our peel because we do not want it to stick to the peel at all. This would hinder it from being able to slide on and off of the... Bon, I'm gonna need some more help here. Sorry. Just, it's not connecting, so I can't read chat. I don't want to leave people stranded. I also don't know how it looks from a video perspective. Should just be able to refresh. Oh. Okay, that's fine too. The dough looks beautiful. Thank you, Melody. Thank you. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger. I would recommend, if you're doing this, that you actually leave it overnight. But as I said, I don't really have time for that, and I would like to. Part of the thrust of these streams is that it's cooking you can in theory do along at home at the same time that I do it. I don't like the cooking show gimmick of, here's all this work we do, and then you let it sit for 36 hours, and you pull one out from under the table, and it's already done. I feel like that's bad. or boring. I want to show you guys stuff you can actually do at home that's quick and easy, and it turns out 90 minutes is plenty. Overnight makes it better for sure, but for now, I'll leave it at 90 minutes. So this dough is very hearty, it's very big, it's going to make 2 pizzas. So I'm going to cut it in half with my pizza sword, is the first step. Boom. And now the hard part is getting it to resemble a circle again, once you slice it into this crescent shape. I always struggle with this, and I'm very bad at it. I usually have square or rectangular pizza, but that's fine. So we take half of it, going to throw it back into the bowl, and now we just, the way you stretch the dough is you kind of just run it over your knuckles, and you let gravity do the work. Stretch it out with gravity. Ideally, it should be stretchy enough, but not so loose that this is an effective way to get it to all stretch out. You just run it like it's a motion with your knuckles, like this, is how you do it. I'm never confident enough to try tossing these, and also the camera is about a foot off of the table, so I'm not going to try throwing these, but I need to practice that more. That's a trick I want to get good at, for sure. My dad is very good at that as a accomplished pizziolo. He can throw dough, spin it around, etc., etc. Anyway, you want it to be basically a uniform with approximately in the shape of a circle. If it's not the end of the world. Just, you don't want any air bubbles or pockets like that, so you can hammer it out like so. It doesn't have to be perfectly circular. This isn't a fast food pizza. Nobody's going to complain if I have it at a odd shape. It doesn't need to fit in a pizza box. It just needs to be on the stone. My mom saved some of the risen dough in the freezer so we can have pizza whenever. Oh, so you make pizza at home yourself. Awesome. In that case, I'm curious what you think of my technique, or sometimes lack thereof. All right. I need more flour. It has stuck to the peel. This is the worst thing that can happen. I'm very curious, Melody. Ah, shit. Yeah, so I'm having it stick to the peel, which is very bad. Yeah, freezing it is fine. I usually just leave it in the refrigerator because I don't let it go that long. But once it's risen, yeah, you can absolutely put it on ice to stop the metabolic process of the yeast from causing it to rise even further. If you do leave it just in the fridge for like a week, it will eventually escape the container it's in, like some kind of SCP containment breach. So, gotta be careful about that. We can press this down with the dull edge of the pizza sword. I think this is probably sufficient. You can kind of create like a little lip if you want for the crust, though it will all rise pretty well. SCP pizza. Yeah. Should be fine. So, as I mentioned today, earlier today, the special ingredients, because I'm going to do a Margherita style pizza, is the fresh mozzarella, which I used partially in the salad we made earlier today, and fresh basil. Oh, cool. That's good. I was mostly just showing the camera. I have my own wood palette. Yeah. I've always called it a peel. It's very appealing. Why is it still sticking? Why? I've put so much flour on here. You'll see me keep doing this shaking motion, and I'm observing that this part is standing still while the rest is moving, and that's indicating to me that it'll be difficult to slide this off into the oven when the time comes. So that's one thing you always want to be cautious of, is if you can't slide it into the oven and all the toppings and everything shimmy off when you shake it, you're going to have a bad time. It's going to be bad. So I need to get more flour under here somehow. I should have floured it up more, but I'm kind of eager to eat. This is becoming wider and wider. Fortunately, my stone is wider than my peel, so it doesn't really matter that it's becoming such an odd shape. Approximately a circle, good enough. Now if I shimmy it again, there we go. Nice and smooth motion across the peel. Doss is texting his dad your channel because he wants his dad to watch you make pizza. Well, your technique is really good. Don't worry about the shape. It's more, traditional. Yeah. That's how I've always felt, is making it a circle. If I had the space where I could actually do the spin, the centripetal force would help with making it a circle, but I don't, because there's a camera, like I said, a foot above my peel here. and I don't really want to risk it with my only shot at dinner tonight. That's good. You just hammer it out. You don't want there to be air bubbles or anything like that. That's how you get the big crispy flakes on like fast food pizza, which you probably don't want. Just hammer it out. Keep it flat. I will now begin the most important step. Today's sauce of the day is Lucchini's spicy Tuscan tomato. I don't know how spicy it is. We're going to find out. But you basically you'll take a spoonful and then you'll rub the back of the spoon over the dough to spread it out. A common misconception is that people will think that they need to make the pizza like blood red, completely drown it in sauce. I imagine the dough just stuck on the camera. Yeah. So people put way too much sauce on these things, and as such, the pizza will become very soggy and kind of just gross overall. While there certainly is a high amount of the sauce that will evaporate out in the very high intensity of the brick oven or convection oven or whatever you have, you really don't need a ton of sauce, in my humble opinion. So you want to spread it pretty thin. You can still see the dough underneath, and that's fine. And additionally, it's very okay to push it all the way to the edge of the dough. It's going to do a lot of rising in the oven once it bakes, and all of the CO2 gets released from the dying yeast. So you can push it to the edge. The little sliver at the end is going to widen out considerably. So don't think you need to leave in the whole handle that you're expecting when you like visualize a finished pizza. The tiny little strip at the end will be more than enough. This is probably enough in terms of sauce, I think. I think that's good. And so then the guest ingredients today are our fresh mozzarella, which I'm going to do large, like wide but thin slices, ideally. And then we've got fresh basil as well. I didn't realize when I bought this that this is already kind of pre-sliced. I think like you can, I might just leave it as in the slices that it's already in because it's just easy that way. Just flop that right on there. I think I'd like them a little bit thinner, but it's hard to slice a slice because it's not cooperating. So for Margherita pizza, we just have large chunks of cheese on the top. These will make very nice splotches when they melt. Yeah, we'll make your cheese overflow. It's a fair amount of sauce. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'm glad that somebody else can weigh in on this because I tout myself as an expert, but that's only in relative terms, right? In the VTubing community, in the world of VTubing, not many people are super acclimated with pizza. So I know my stuff relatively, but in the whole world of making pizza, I am an amateur, complete novice, far from a pizzaiolo. So I'm glad to have somebody to riff off of. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad to have met you. What is next here? A lot of cheese, a lot of cheese. It's probably enough, yeah. I'm just trying to fill in the blanks, so I don't really need to. A Margherita pizza has plenty of sauce exposed on the top. That's fine. I gotta eat the remainder. It's so good. It's like the perfect amount of salt. And next up, the basil, which for Margherita, you pretty much just cut the leaf in half and then leave it as is. Like there's really not, you don't need to shred this. Like you can just honestly just leave the whole leaf. These will dry up, they lose a considerable amount of volume in the oven, as you might expect. So just kind of sprinkle those wherever. And you're getting what appears to be a traditional pizza, I think. We're getting there. Do you want more basil? Boom. Approximately good, I think. There's the temptation to add like garlic or something onto the top of this, but I think we're good. Now, I'm going to get this ready for the oven. I will jiggle the peel a little bit, and I see that it's not moving a lot. I'm not sure if that's just because it's heavy or if it's stuck again. One way you can check this for sure is you can pick up the corner, like so. Well, I'm trying to see if that. Okay, and you can blow under it, and if you see the whole ripple like a wave go through the dough, it means it's not stuck to the peel. It's also a good way to get air underneath it so that you have a cushion of air to get between it and the peel so you can slide it off. I'm going to try that right now, but I have to fold up my microphone, otherwise I'll be blowing in your ear. 1 second. I did not do a good enough job this time for getting air under there. I thought I had it, but I didn't. It's very, very malformed in the oven. It slid off in a strange shape. So, I mean, it'll be fine. It's pizza, but it's no longer even close to round. But that's fine. I do the same with I've got some fresh tomatoes for a salad we made earlier, and I was just popping them before as well. You've got good taste in food, Melody. Gotta finish eating all the cheese off of the table. I can try that again. Make a second pizza while I'm waiting for this one. Oh, so yeah, I just popped it in the oven. That's what I was busy doing. Generally, you leave it for like, I think 8 to 10 minutes at high heat is sufficient. Once you actually have the dough ready to go, pizza's lightning quick to make. But, you know, overall, it's the making the dough that takes a long time. So it's good that you can keep this for a while. I could, in theory, put this in the refrigerator and leave this overnight, but I kind of want to do something with it right now. Pizza in the oven should be good for like 10 minutes, I think. It's going to be such a strange shape. Such a strange shape, but that's okay. It was looking so good. Alternatively, I can make something like breadsticks with these. I'm not sure what I want to do the second half. Bon, do you have a preference? No? Alright, we can try again in theory. So, gonna not make the same mistake as I did before. Gonna add even more flour to the peel because I was having it get stuck, and this was the crucial sticking point. Or, not sticking, well, yes, sticking point, but pain point that I just experienced. So we're gonna go... Mane? I don't know what you're asking for. I'm not familiar. I don't know what that means, sorry. Oh, make a calzone. Yeah. That's what I've done a couple of these streams before. So far I've made like normal American style pizza. I made a calzone. I've made breadsticks. I think two of them were normal American pizzas, normal, with like shredded mozzarella and such. I made a calzone because I just couldn't get the shape right, and now I'm making a Margherita pizza. And then next time that I do this, on Sunday the 13th, I'll be making either a dessert pizza or just baking a cake and not actually doing a pizza at all. These are my plans. I could just make a calzone. When I did the calzone though, I got like deli meat, so I would want that if I were doing that here. I don't think fresh mozzarella is a calzone ingredient. Personally, I don't think of them that way. You know, I think I just need a bigger peel is what I really need here. It would make it easier to make round. See, like this looks good. Like I've got the corners are all like folded up for like a crust. I guess it is a bit crusty though. That's fine. Circle. All good. Thank you for burning precious mobile data to come hang out with me. I'm just going to try and repeat the same process here. I'm going to see if I can do a better job the second time around. Get this to not stick to the peel. Make a more circular pizza. That's what it's all about. Frankly, the reason I started this streaming series is so that I could get better at making pizza, and I would dedicate time regularly where I would practice the craft. And turning it into content is a great way to hold yourself accountable to something. You've got not just yourself to own up to, but all of your viewers. I love pizza, but I don't know anything about the process of making it, so this is fun to watch. Thank you. If you need to recap or want to see the dough making process, all of my VODs are on my YouTube page, which I believe is linked at the bottom of my channel, or you can go to skeletom.net/archive, and that'll take you to my YouTube channel as well. I only do VOD uploads on the YouTube. I don't do any streaming on YouTube. I'm all on Twitch. So you'll never miss a stream if you follow. But if you do miss the streams, you can always go to the YouTube. But you're not missing any YouTube exclusive content. I'm a one platform guy for now. All right. So now, before I start loading this thing up with cheese, does it slide? Yes. Okay. So that seems good for now. I think, looking casually into the oven just now, the slices of cheese that I was using were way too thick. So I'm going to try and thinly slice this even more, not using the pre-sliced size from the cheese itself. I didn't know it was pre-sliced when I got it. Boom, boom. If I were really making this authentic, the slices would be even wider and really thin, but I don't really have the capability of doing that here in America, or here specifically where I live in America. It's not as easy to get those things, so that's probably sufficient for cheese. Cool. Gonna chop up some more basil, and then I gotta check in on the pizza that's already in the oven. I don't really know how to approximate if it's ready. I'm just assuming that 8 to 10 minutes will be enough. With shredded mozzarella on like an American style pizza, you can pretty easily tell because the cheese on top will get a brown, like leopard-like pattern to it, where it's like dappled with just a little bit of brown. It's not all brown, but it's not all still white either. So that's very easy to tell, but with fresh mozzarella like this, I don't think it's gonna char in the same way. So that's probably sufficient here. I could probably cut the stems off, but I don't really think I need to. Yeah, I know that. I use I don't use cornmeal, but I use my flour. I've got my all-purpose flour that I use for that. I totally get that. And he's correct. Yeah, you need something to get between the peel and the dough. So this seems like it's a little bit more willing to move. So that's good. I just got to wait for the other one. Also, shout out to Das's dad. Hello, thank you for dropping by on the stream. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, as they say. Thank you for stopping by. I hope I'm not too much of a nuisance or too strange for you. All right, so pizza in the oven. Doesn't look that bad, all things considered. It's a really fucked up, weird shape, but I'm okay with that. Now I gotta make sure I have a thing to put it on. Should have gotten this out before, but I didn't. That's fine. Yeah, all right, so I'm just waiting for the pizza to finish now. We can do the, like, Zatsudan portion of the Zatsudan. Flair says, Manja. Hello, Flair. Welcome. You're right, we will be manjaing in, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes? Mangiamo, indeed. We will eat. That's another bit that I should try and incorporate into this more. So yesterday I was playing the new Pokemon game, right? And as is tradition for me, I set my Pokemon games to the Italian language if I have the option. I've been doing this ever since, like, the Sapphire remakes, I think was the first one I did this in. And I try and do this because I'm pretty rusty with Italian overall as a language. But I know the Pokemon games like the back of my fucking hand. I know them in English completely front to back. I can tell you what all the moves do. I know what their effects are. I mostly know what Pokédex entries are supposed to say. So when I'm confronted with words I don't understand, I can backfill in my mind. Okay, in English it says this, so this must mean something similar. The new game is very different, and so I was struggling a lot. I have a 3-hour VOD on my archive now, where I get through the tutorial in like one main encounter, while I struggle to read English, or read Italian, and transpose it into English for the chat. So that's fun. But a bit I wanted to add to this Zatsudan stream, and I always just forget because there's so many moving pieces, is I wanted to add like a learn an Italian word segment. And so I guess today's word is, as Flair brings to us, mangia, M-A-N-G-I-A. This is the verb mangiare, which means to eat. It is very stereotypical for like an Italian grandmother type to say mangia, mangia, because she wants you to eat, because that's what Italian grandmothers do. The verb for we eat would be mangiamo, I-A-M-O, M-A-N-G-I-A-M-O, mangiamo. We are going to eat. I eat is manjo. You have mangi, yeah, would be you eat. And we eat mangiamo. Noi mangiamo would be how you say it. You don't have to say the noi part though, that's implied. The we is implied by the way the verb is structured. I think this is going to be done in like... I think this is done actually. I probably let this in for longer than I needed to for a marguerite. One moment please while I fetch this out of the oven, and I'll pop the next one in. Yes, Bond has it exactly correct. We eat mangiamo. The problem with the with Pokemon games that with the Pokemon game that I was playing, where it's in Italian, is I can read the Pokedex and the move descriptions very, very well, but when it comes to dialogue, I'm complete dog shit. Like, when people have colloquialisms or idioms, I just don't know what it's all about. Anyway, here's the pizza. Pizza. I'm gonna autofocus the camera, and I'm gonna pop the next one in. Probably let it go for a little bit longer than I needed to. I don't think the fresh mozzarella is supposed to melt quite so much on a marguerite pizza, but it's edible. You can see the exact point that it got stuck when I was trying to yank it off the peel, and the whole thing kind of just twisted, but we'll be fine. I think the next one will go better. There's also a large air bubble that I didn't properly press out, so you can learn from my mistakes. I like the funky shape, thank you. Claire says there's like an old-timey Italian dialect. Oh, I have no idea. So actually, I do have. Why did I say I have no idea? Claire, I know the answer to this question. Let me put this in the oven first, and then I will answer your question about old-timey Italian dialect. All right, that one went much better. This one will be approximately a normal shape, and I'm going to leave it in for, I think, a little bit less time. Okay, so let's begin. Zatsudan. Huge, thank you. Very rustic and yummy, I hope so. Looks like a chubby dove. Looks really good to me. Pizza looks great, thank you. You're all making me feel very happy right now. I hope it turns out to taste good as well. Oh, yeah. Hold on, I gotta answer Flair's question first, then we can dig in. So is there like an old-timey Italian dialect that they'd use to reflect the old Hisuian times too, do you think? So, in the lore of the games, I would assume that Italian as a codified language does not exist yet, because Italian as we know it, which is Florentine Italian, the dialect that they spoke in Florence, only got codified as law as the lingua franca of Italy in 1865. If that's... Yeah, okay. So to put that in perspective, Flair, my alma mater had existed for 2 years before Italian was a formal language. Yeah, it's extremely recent. And so this is, I believe, part of why Italians are so predisposed to talk with their hands, like what I'm doing right now, because even across cities and regions, there was no common language. There were only dialects and regional, like pidgin speak. So the one way that you could communicate your ideas to another Italian in the Italian peninsula was Italian Sign Language, basically. There was just no formal language. And then eventually they codified Florentine Italian as the Italian. And there are still dialects, of course. There's like Sicilian and what have you, but Florentine Italian is the Italian you can learn in school, and the primary Italian that's spoken. So, is there an old-timey Hisuian Italian? I don't think so. I don't think there was. Italy was probably not a country yet, as a unified country. Okay, time to taste test. Is this hot? I don't want to melt the... Okay. So, I get to finally use my pizza sword. I'm gonna slice this fucker in half. Unless maybe I should take a photo first? I don't know. Also, I should make sure I don't forget the other one in the oven. Because I just dawdled and spoke about Italian quite a bit. Got some time to go, but I can't forget it. I'm gonna take a photo of this with my phone real quick, and then I will slice it in half. Take a pic, yeah. I mean, there's always the stream archive if I ever get really nostalgic about this specific pizza. But a couple times ago, like I think this was 2 streams ago, we made an Among Us shaped pizza by accident. Bon really wants me to only put cheese where like the eye would be. I don't know why, but that was her desire. All right, photo taken. Super fancy. Still want to get a tombola game going, dude. Name the day. I'm happy to do it. I genuinely mean that. Okay, so let's see. Are we focused? Bon is preparing, I believe, a Bellini to pair with this. That's the official wine pairing tonight. You can show it on the camera if you want. Here we go. Canella Bellini. I don't know if this is too far away. This is what I will be drinking along with this pizza tonight. Okay, pizza sword. It's curved, so you can rock it back and forth. Getting a powerful leveraged cut on both ends of this. I'm going to cut this into quarters, Bon. Does that sound about right? The good thing about these small pizzas is like a slice can just be a quarter of the pizza. This is really cool. What is this in this case, Flair? What are you referring? The stream, the sword, the concept of pizza, the country of Italy. Just, Oh, maybe. Oh, the sword. Yeah. It's just a really big, like, I don't know. I call it the pizza sword. I don't know what the actual term for it is. It's just a knife that you can rock. It's got the curved bottom, so you can put your weight on both sides. All right. Cool. In that case, Bon, do you want to manja, have the first bite? I'll let you take the first slice. Let me know what you think. Pizza sword is adequate, right? I've always called it the pizza sword. Uh-oh. Gotta get your cheese back. Slicey boy. Denshi's right. Also, bear in mind the sauce is spicy tonight, so be careful. If it's really spicy, make sure you have some Bellini. Yes. Now this is the part where I like absolutely edge you guys all on here, and I'm going to eat pizza, and you won't get to have any. But I got to do the taste test to see if I've done a good job. I won't do too much eating on stream, I promise. So I definitely just burned the roof of my mouth with the sauce, but overall not bad. The dough this time came out very, very crispy, very flat. I think I probably needed to let it rise for a bit more. Like, I'm trying to articulate this. It's very flat, which is good or bad. Usually it rises a bit more. This section had like a huge amount of air in it, which isn't great. The sauce is quite good. I would use it again. The cheese is excellent. Yeah, came out pretty good overall. Bon, do you want to cheers? Boom. Excellent. So, anything else anybody wants to chat about? I've got nothing but time now that my pizzas are done. Gotta get the other one out of the oven. Still got some time, it looks like. It's a ways away. So yeah, what's up? What's on everybody's mind? We have a small crowd here tonight. More than just like 1 or 2 passersby, so there's possibility for lively discourse. If nobody has anything they'd like to talk about, I've got a couple of talking points I've prepared, but as always, the floor belongs to the guests. I'm just the humble host. Oop, careful. Bon almost yanking the camera out of the socket. Well, how would you recommend one proceed to find a small game dev team to work for? Ah, that's quite the topic, Millennium Cyborg. All right, so do you want to work like professionally, like on a contract, or do you mean finding like a team to work on an indie project with? Because they're actually, myself and Bon have tried our hand at indie game dev for a bit. Kind of got burned out. I know Flair knows quite a bit about indie game dev as well, not to put them on the spot. But yeah, can you clarify? Do you mean like professionally, or do you mean as a like hobbyist? You made me feel like home. It's been such a long time since I saw someone making pizza. That cuts right to the heart, metaphorically speaking, if I still had one. Melody, I really appreciate that. That warms these old bones right up. I'm really glad to hear it. I'm glad to have met you as well. You've given me some cool insight about how pizza is traditionally made, and it's nice to know that somebody else out there does this as well. I'm not alone. I'm gonna have another bite. Gotta fold up my microphone. 1 second. Okay. My name Cyborg says, I worked for a large company in the past, a long time ago. I'm thinking about getting back into the industry, but somewhere much smaller. That's difficult. I really don't have good advice for getting into the industry because I haven't gotten into the industry. I had lofty dreams of doing that when I was in college, and then I just became an enterprise software engineer, which is very boring, but puts bread on the table, like this. So, to that end, I'd say I see a lot of job offerings on Twitter. Twitter is unfortunately still the de facto social media for the indie game dev circle, I feel like. I can certainly send you leads if I find any. I don't really have amazing advice for that, besides it's about who you know, right? And while in college I had the good fortune of making a lot of friends in that kind of circle, and so now I have a lot of acquaintances and I see a lot of things where people talk about job listings or what have you, but it's all about friends of friends and things like that. It's a mess. Skedge asks, what made you want to become a skeleton, Mr. Skeletom? To that I say, nobody chooses to become a skeleton, you just become one eventually. I guess I could ask the same thing to you. What made you choose to become a skeleton? Did you choose the skeleton life, or was it thrust upon you? Kayfabe unlock. Gonna make me talk about wrestling next. How's this pizza doing? Alright, second one should be done in like 2 minutes, I think. Yeah, I didn't choose to become a skeleton. Clearly something happened at some point in my life that made me become more of a skeleton than I was. Perhaps the skeleton was within us all, exactly. It just happens sometimes. I wanted something that didn't need eye tracking, and I didn't want to be a ghost. That's a good, honest answer, Skedge. That's a really good, honest answer. But the trick with being a skeleton with no eye tracking is being able to emote in other ways. For example, my favorite feature of this 2D model that Bon has made for me is the jaw is a jiggle bone, so I can do this. And you can see the jaw shakes. It's fun. With high fidelity tracking like on the iPad, it's great. Proud of me bones, that's amazing. Cute, yeah. I love it. I can whip my head around really dramatically, and the jaw like follows. It's great. But it's one of the many ways to emote when you don't have eyes, and you can't really show where you're looking. You just gotta whip your head around wildly. Still working on your hands. Bon is very determined to give me hands that I can trigger with expressions, so I can do the Italian hand thing. She's very determined to do this. I don't know why. You did a great job, Bon, says Skage. They're not wrong. Yeah, and so for Bon typically streams on Mondays. I'm going to give Bon a shout out here. Huh? Because you're here and I can talk about you. Never mind, Bon doesn't want me to talk. I don't know. So Bon typically streams on Mondays. She won't be doing it tomorrow because of Lunar New Year. We've got plans that are coming up. But typically on Mondays, she will do that. She builds Gunpla on stream, so she puts together plastic model kits and stuff like that. You can find her obviously at Bon Bombs here. She's also sometimes streams building live 2D models because she's great like that. A jack of all trades, really, and a master of some of them, which is rare. No, master of some for sure. Okay, Bon keeps saying master of none to me right now. She's wrong, but I'll entertain her. Wait, hold on. Getting the second pizza out of the oven before I forget. It looks about done. By the way, Danchi, if you're still here, this is why I was asking about being able to record custom emotes with the hand tracking that you've recently added to VTube Studio, because I wanted to be able to actually do the Italian hand pinch and have it trigger the corresponding emote in my repertoire of emotes. I feel like I should be able to have it do the hand tracking, take a snapshot of what the hand looks like, and have it actually happen. Yeah, Denchi is Denchi. Denchi is the real Denchi. Here we go. Here's the second pizza. It's considerably more round. I think it looks more like a pizza. Interestingly, compared to the other one where the mozzarella didn't brown, this one did, even though it's fresh. Honestly, this looks very similar to a traditional American pizza. You wouldn't know that the mozzarella was not shredded, I feel like. But I think this will be quite tasty as well. This one came out better in terms of shape. We'll see how it came in terms of flavor, but that's for later. For later. Yeah, right? It's great cheese. Okay, so that I guess that's fair. In my head, the way it was working, way I envisioned this Denchi was I would just be able to do the gesture, because when I watch how it is tracking my hands, it's very accurate. Like, it has a very clear concept of where all of my joints are. And so I figure if I could just do the pose, hit a button that's a snapshot, it would be able to match whenever I do that again. But if it's not possible, it's not possible. I absolutely trust you as the expert on the subject. The thing is, if I can only use the gestures that are provided, I probably won't do them very often, because they're things like thumbs up or like a peace sign, I think, is one of them. And as you can see from the way I'm talking right now, I don't do those naturally, but there are lots of gestures that I do. And I will do these even while I'm streaming and not on camera, which is very funny. I mention this a lot. If I get really heated during like a programming stream or whatever, there'll be times when my model actually loses tracking, because I will be talking such that my hands are waving constantly in front of my face, between my face and the camera. So I do use my hands a lot in VTubing and in talking, but not the gestures that I have programmed. Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair. You gotta build for the most use cases. If I really get heated about this, I think, build my own plugin to recognize. Does the hand tracking, or maybe this will be something for your subscription API that you're gonna add, the notification API. Can I get the hand tracking information somehow from the VTube Studio API plugin? Can I have it pipe to me what the position of a hand is, and I can match it manually on my own? Can I make my own Italian hands plugin? Is what I'm asking, Tenchi. I need to know. Please. Ayuta, please help me, help me, help me. Okay. Something to work off of. When I'm done with the heart rate thing, I'll work on my Italian hands plugin so I can finally talk unencumbered, VTubing will finally be more accessible to people like me, by which I mean Italians. Oh, I should turn off the oven. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. So, I don't know. That's what's going on with me. Speaking of, though, the version 2.0 of my, or 1.2, I guess, of my heart rate plugin should be due out this weekend, I think. I got the profiles system working so that you can have custom configurations per model, and I just need to, the only thing that's left for me to do is figuring out how to backport the old style save file into the new style of save file so that it doesn't forget people's settings. And for people who don't know, you can find it on my Twitter, at Thomtaro, and also linked at the bottom here. But I'm working on a plugin for VTube Studio that can port heart rate data from like a heart rate monitor to VTube Studio, so you can make your model blush in real time or get like blue in the face if you're like playing a horror game or something. Scaling with your heart rate, you can specify like a resting heart rate and your expected maximum, and it will interpolate the color between 0 and 1 for that. It also has parameters that you can use to track breathing that will accelerate as your heart rate goes up, so you breathe more and more heavily. It's not that would be crazy. It's a plugin I published. You can download it for free on itch.io, and you can find it on my Twitter. You just need a heart rate monitor and a heart rate. I guess I don't have one of those, but it's published. The version 1.0 is out. I'm working on the next version, which will let you set these things per model. And the next feature is also being able to trigger expressions like one-time emotes or like a sweat or something like that expression at certain ranges of heart rate, because that seems like the right thing to do. So if you're ever playing a Ring Fit stream or a horror game stream, you can load this up, strap on your heart rate monitor, and go right in the face as you crush it and make your heart work extra hard. And I'm hoping that people will find this as a way to add a little bit more life to the weird, lifeless puppets that are VTubers. Not me, though. I don't have a heart, so kind of weird to make a plugin like this for myself. Yeah. So that brings us to about 9 o'clock. It's 8:45, I think. Anybody else got anything they want to shoot the breeze about? I got nowhere to be. It's Sunday night. Metaphorical heart. Yeah, exactly. It's heart. You gotta have heart. Metaphorical. I'm gonna keep eating pizza while I think of more things to talk about. An old friend of mine launched Dota while I was watching the stream. We were shooting the breeze. Is this an old friend that I know? I'm very interested. The 5-star dream is real. Millennium Cyborg, pleasant dreams, bonus era. Have a wonderful evening. I'm pretty sure it's very late where you are. Good luck with the pursuit of indie dream happiness. If I find any leads, I'll reach out to you offline when I have a better, more concrete answer for that question you asked. But best of luck to you. You're such a gentle pizza making vibe. Thank you. Do I remember D squared? I don't know D squared. He was an IRL friend, but we used to play a bit. Sorry, I don't know. I don't remember D squared. If we played together, it must have been a very long time ago. But that's exciting. I would love to get a 5-stack going. I had plans in my mind back when I was not sure of really what I wanted to do in this great wild world of VTubing, where I wanted to get a VTuber 5-stack going, or like a VTuber in-house, because I know a couple of people who play Dota and are VTubers, and I wanted to get us all together and just have a really noisy time in Discord and get miserable and learn to hate each other all over again. But it hasn't panned out so far. I've always got another technical project I need to work on, or more pizza to make, content to generate on my own time. It's rough, but I like what I'm doing right now. Making pizza, making food on stream is fun. I think I'm in a very rare echelon of VTubers that do cooking. There's, I think, Onigiri does cooking in a really cool way where she has it like the camera forward facing, but she's got like a green screen. to superimpose herself into the kitchen beyond just the top down, which is cool. And of course Hachima, legendary VTuber chef Hachima, does cooking streams, which is very, very cool. I really enjoyed this. I'll come back for sure. Thank you very much. I stream Saturdays at around now, and then Sundays back when I started at 6 p.m. EST. I think, Melody, you mentioned you're an hour ahead of me, so I guess it'd be 7 p.m. your time on Sundays, and 9, I think, p.m. On Saturdays. I do programming on Saturdays, and sometimes video game stuff, and then Sundays are usually for this. Those are my 2 days. Good night, Bonus Sarah. Have a wonderful evening, Melody. Good night. Always love the PIZZATSUDAN. It's a treat. Thank you. Yeah, well, I'm mostly out of stuff to talk about this time. Pizza's getting cold. It's getting late. I gotta clean up the kitchen before I go to sleep. So I'm gonna go send you off to. I guess I'll do a raid. I'll see if anybody's up. But give me 1 second to check the docket, and I'll be right back. Yes, cheese biscuits. The week, I don't want to do pizza cooking every week, so next Sunday will probably be a game stream. But the week after that will be my day before my birthday. I'm going to either make a dessert pizza or I'm going to make a cake. So you can look forward to that. All right, so who can I raid, if anyone? This is the constant cruft of Twitch. Okay. Easy answer. Professor Tiberius is playing more Pokemon Legends Arceus. Tiberius is great. He's also a VTube Studio plugin author. He's made some web apps that let you do coloring dynamically of your model, etc., etc. Go give him a warm skeletal welcome. And he told me yesterday that he has raids enabled, so I should be able to do it this time. That is prof_Tiberius. Spelled that right. Ty for short. All right. Go give him a warm undead welcome and wish him well on his Pokemon. I don't have a raid message. I guess Bone Giorno, even though it's nighttime. There you go. Pizza Skeleton raid. Good night, Tom. Thank you. To all of you, very, very happy Sunday. And I hope to see you all again next time. Thank you so much for coming by. Makes it really special and worth doing. Bone Giorno it is.